All right, guys. So before I go for a ride on the KZ650, because that's what the title says, and we're going to compare now. We're comparing apples and oranges again, but pretty much naked sport bike, 2024. I would say it's a naked sport bike, 1977, and so we'll be looking at 47 years of technology. I got this bike back. My brother's got no room in the garage. He wanted me to take it, kind of screw around with it. It hasn't run for 2 years now. I kind of restored it. Resto mod type of restoring. I call it my Resto Rider mod. Now I'm going to talk more about that when I take a ride. I'm going to pull it, go up to the lake, and then we'll talk more about the bike. But I just wanted to do just to show you the difference between the two bikes. And we're going to just hop on it and go for a ride, and we'll talk about it. And it's a cool bike. I mean, I know they're just so different when you look at them, but they're pretty much, this is a sport naked of its era, which is today, and this was it back in the day. Now I'm going to show you pictures also of what this bike looked like brand new, and what it looked like when we bought it, and what we turned it into. And you can see I've done a lot of mods, and I call it my Resto Rider mod because it's a rider. It's not a nut and bolt restoration. All right, guys, let's go for a ride.
All right, guys, yeah, so we're on a KZ now. So you guys see my comparison, and I just wanted to go for a ride and talk about the KZ, naked to naked, 47 years old. Wow, they drained that whole reservoir. Holy cow. Okay, sorry, guys. So I haven't ridden this in a while, so it's a little temperamental. It's cold, but yeah, so 47 years of technology. I guess I'm gonna have to go over the bike since it's been sitting for 2 years. Anyway, your feet are pretty much like aligned with your shoulders, so you're not, your feet, the pegs are not way back. They're kind of, it's kind of just like a neutral bike. The bars from the factory are a little bit farther back, so we put different bars on it, so you have a little bit of a sportier ride. He likes to be around $6 grand. Who knows? Let's see. It's got a little bit of a miss, but it handles okay. I mean, I'm doing 60 miles an hour. The speed over is off probably about 2 or 3 miles an hour, but it's still comfortable. I mean, as far as like I said, back to the seating position, it's a comfy bike. Your inseam is, I think the seat height's only about 31 inches, so it's really easy to flat foot. And it gets up to speed pretty quick. Now, as far as like, acceleration, it doesn't accelerate anything like my the triple. Nothing like the triple. It's not geared that way, or I don't know if the gearing, or it just doesn't have that low end torque. You don't really feel power until you get above 5,000. So back in the day, I think this bike would only run like mid to high 13s in a quarter mile, where a really experienced rider on the triple probably could get the high 10s out of it. But that's not going to happen with a bike like this. I think it made like 65 horsepower, about 45 pounds of torque. But it goes through this here. It leans in okay. I mean, I'm not sure. I wouldn't go crazy leaning with this bike. I don't know what. It does feel heavier, no doubt about it. It feels heavier. And the bike is, I think, like almost 500 pounds or 480 or something like that, fully fueled and everything like that. But you would, it feels heavier than that, believe it or not. It's heavy to pick up the kickstand. The kickstand's very low. Let's see how it is from a stop. Yeah, it has a slight like dead spot between between 4,000 and 5,000. It's kind of dead, and I don't know if it's something to do with the carbs, but I'm still having, I don't know if it's that, or maybe the timing's not right, or maybe the valves need to be reset, or the I don't know. I have to really go over the bike, because I said it's been sitting for a while. The filters are good, or air filters. It's got pod filters. It's a little chilly out today, about 65 degrees. I wouldn't say chilly. It's just a little brisk. It's still nice to ride. I'm not dressed anything than my normal summer gear on. So, but yeah. So let's get back to the bike. I'm kind of all over the place. So the seating position, yeah. So if you're looking at the seating position, it's very just straight up, pretty much a straight up bike. Not as aggressive as the RS. But in its day, this was a sport bike, and they didn't really have anything out back in its day. I mean, basically these bikes were the muscle cars of the 60s, with the Japanese bikes of the 70s were. I mean, nothing could run with them. Yes, once you get above that $5,000, it's nice. It's just below 5,000. It just seems a little like something. Okay, squirrel. I don't want to hit a squirrel. Like now I'm at 45, just cruising at 60, just about, this is below 60. And you feel the torque come in about 5,000 to 6,000. So that's about 80, I would say 75. And it's not, you know, no heavy vibes through the bars or anything like that. It leans over. You can flick it, but it doesn't flick over easy. It just doesn't roll over easy. You can feel the weight of the bike. But you know, it's 47 years old, and I mean, I like riding it because it doesn't push me to go fast. Maybe it just needs to be ridden. It just feels like it's getting better as I'm riding it. Like I said, it hasn't been ridden, so it's been sitting for a long time. This is the first time it's really been ridden in a long time. I mean, I'm going to put like 30 miles on it today, maybe a little bit more. And you can hear the exhaust, but it's not obnoxious or anything like that. Oh, I'm coming up to my drag strip. So let's see if I can do a pull on this thing, see what you got. And even though it doesn't want me to, because I think the bike is saying, Ken, don't really get on it. Treat me nice, Ken, treat me nice. That's just about 105, and I'm sure the speedometer's a little, I mean, so with the triple, I'd be running probably about 130 by that time. So it accelerates and it gets up to speed, but it's not blistering. Like I said, I would think this would be a quarter-mile time, probably in the high 13s. 0 to 60 probably like 5 seconds, which is not really bad. I mean, as far as if you had a car, but for a sport bike, it's not that quick. I just, for some reason, I really gravitate to this bike. I guess because it's the first bike I learned how to ride on. And this bike is the exact same color as what I had when I rode it. When my brother bought it, we bought it brand new. And when we get there in a little bit, I'm going to explain to you everything I did and you know, and why I did it and why we did it. Anyways. Yeah, it's easy to shift without the clutch, I can tell you that. The transmission is pretty smooth. I mean, you feel the clunk in it, but it's fairly good. After, like I said, 47 years old, the transmission feels good. The brakes, they're not bad. Not bad at all. See what this turn's like. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, it does have a nice sound to it. All right, so we're going to do like a walk around. Let's go over here and do a walk around. And just show you the stuff I've done to the bike. Somebody left a block of wood here. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to lower the idle, and then I'm going to do a walk around. We'll talk more about this bike. All right, guys, so here's the walk around. So I want to talk more about the KZ650. It's a good looking bike. I think it's a really good looking bike. Now, I wish it was a little faster, but like I said on the ride,
the KZ tells me not to go faster. Just do it once in a while and basically cruise. So basically, I'm going to show you a picture of what this bike looks like, brand new, the way it was made brand new, and what we did to it. And basically, I did. Me and my brother my brother wanted me to do it, pretty much what he did back in the day. So it's period correct stuff we did on the bike, and I call it my Resto Mod Rider. So a Resto Rider mod, because it's a rider. It's not a nut and bolt restoration. It's more modifications. To mod it, the Resto mod it like you do with a car. You put stuff on it that you like, not necessarily what came from the factory. So the first thing we did is it came with the chrome headers, and it was a Kirker chrome header, because we picked up this bike. I'm going to show you a picture of this bike, what it looked like too, and I'll put that in. So let's see what the picture looked like when we picked this bike up and what it looked like when we picked it up. But we're going to get on it. So it came with a chrome Kirker header, not from the factory. This is where we bought this bike, and it had all kinds of crap on it, as you see from that picture, which is it was in good shape but in rough shape. So first thing we did was I put a new header on it, and it's not a Kirker, it's a Delcovic, and it's kind of similar to the Kirker, even though if you could see it, it kind of hangs down a little bit lower, but it has that Kirker style. They still make a Kirker today, but I don't like the way they look, the way they've changed them. So we went with and it was expensive, where this was reasonably priced. So the biggest thing we had to do on the bike was the carbs. Now the carbs have an airbox on them, and kickstart. How do you like that, guys? A kickstart, and it works too. So yeah, so let me get that out of the way. And the airbox are just an absolute nightmare to put back on. So the carbs were just, I tried rebuilding them, I couldn't do it. So I sent them down to this guy named Wired George down in Texas, and absolutely put them, well worth the money. It was $400 for him to completely redo them, rejet them for pods. And these are K&N pods, not the Chinese crap. Chinese crap fall apart. These things will last for a long, long time. And he rejetted it, and I put the carbs on it, started right up. So I'm still having an issue with throttle around, like as I was riding, you could see, but I don't think it has anything to do with the carbs. I think it has something to do with, you know what, I don't, maybe the carbs need to be synced, I don't know, that's possible. But it starts right up, it rides, I can live with that, because it's not like an everyday rider. But yeah, so that was the biggest thing we did. The engine, it's got 17,000 miles on it, the engine runs fine. I'm going to go over the valves. I replaced the coils, the wires, the plugs, obviously. The points, this has points ignition. I may put an electronic ignition on it, maybe that has something to do with it. So what else did we do? So I had to rebuild the brakes, they were all shot. Not a problem getting most of the parts. The front brakes, I could not get the dust boots, and so I'm still waiting to find them. You can't really see them. It's the dust boot that protects the wheel cylinder, the caliper, and the piston inside the caliper. So let's see. Okay, all right, let's get this stuff we did. The seat was a major change, because this seat is from a place in Vietnam, and it's a bolt-on deal. You don't have to do anything custom with it, and I'll show you how this works. It's really cool. The factory seat was more of a touring seat, and the regular seat, they're hard to come by. And so what we did is have these seats, got everything's here. You have a manual, you have a wired schematic. I put an aftermarket filter in it. But yeah, so it's a complete deal. It's well worth the money, and I just love the idea that it has helmet hooks. How cool is that? Yeah. So let's get back to more stuff we did to it. All right, so we did the pods. The thing was all chrome. I painted the shocks black because I just didn't like the chrome look. These were silver. I painted these black. We put this add-on here. This is supposed to give it better support for the forks. I think it kind of looks cool, but it's supposed to give it a little better fork handling, because it gives it better support. As you can see from that picture, that the front fender was chrome. I cut the fender. It came down to here. And then it had a brace over here, which I thought was hideous. And so I cut it, painted it black, just chopped it. And then I also painted the wheels black. They were silver. Didn't like the silver look, but I just didn't think it looked right with how we did this. Cleaned up the chrome as much as I can. I'm still working on polishing the covers and stuff like that. It's a lot of work to do that. The engine needs to be cleaned up. It's still a little grungy looking. Master cylinder, put a new master cylinder on. I'd like to go to black levers if I can find some nice ones. This I had I didn't want to go aftermarket. They make a repos of this, but I don't like them. The switch gear, so I rebuilt it inside, so it was easy to rebuild. But as you can see, I'll shoot over to this side. It's not painted. This was perfect condition, so I didn't have to rebuild it. So I put like aftermarket grips on it, but I didn't paint the little lines and stuff like that. But everything works perfectly. The gauges. Well, you can see that it's all screwed up. The lenses, you have to clean from the inside. I could have replaced them, but I didn't because they make a repops on these. But I left a little patina. It's got a little patina. They work good. Lights, we went through a period type of lights. Even though back in the day they had these big chrome lights, my brother put on square ones. I think off a KZ650, but they were really big. And I found ones that are kind of like, I think they look very fitting for the era. And we wanted to keep it like a 70-ish, 80-ish looking, era type of bike. And like I said, this is my Resto Mod Rider, or Resto Rider Mod. What else did we do? The back had a fender. And yeah, so got rid of the fender, took this piece off. This is the mount that would mount to the fender, or I'm trying to how to describe it, but I just tucked it up underneath where the frame was, kind of like a little tail tidy, a mini tail tidy type setup. And also had mirrors on it. I didn't like the way they looked when I put them on. I just didn't like them. So I had these from my FZ, and I wasn't sure I was going to like them because they're just that funky orangish color, but they kind of go good with the blue, so I'm probably going to leave them, and they're expensive. These aren't the cheap ones. These are CRGs, and they're way over $100, and they're not the cheap Chinese crap. So I said, you know what, I might as well use them. And what else? I know I'm forgetting something else, but then let's just finish it up with the paint. This is the factory paint from 1977, and it has a little dent here, and it has some patina here, but we're not going to do anything with it, just clean it up, but it shines up real nice. I mean, you guys can see the flake in it. The paint is absolutely gorgeous on it. It's all original. Nothing's been touched up. You'll see the little nicks here and there, and I just didn't want to mess with the paint. I just thought it's cool. So here it is, guys. This is the KZ650 77, and you guys seen the before and after picture. And what it looked like new, what it looked like when we picked it up, and what we did with it. And it's a nice rider. It's nothing. It's nowhere near the technology of the Street Triple. The Street Triple blows it away in every metric, except not nostalgia and style. I mean, this bike is just timeless style. I like what I did to it because I think they should have made a version like this, because this would be the sport version of it. Because the other version had the handlebars were chrome, and they came out to about let's see if I can. They came out to about here. They pulled back, and they made it real comfy. You can you'll see in the picture what it looked like, the way we got it in the original one. And I just didn't like that look. And my brother made these little changes back in the day, and I said, you know what, I'm going to make the same changes, and maybe go a little bit a little bit farther. So that's it, guys. And I'm going to get back on. We'll talk more on the way home, and if I can think of anything else to say. But yeah, there's the walk around of a KZ650. If you guys have any questions about the bike, feel free to ask and let me know your comments on the bike. All right, guys, that's it. So tell me what you think. And I think it's a cool bike, guys. It's super cool, super fun, excitement. It's not as exciting as but it's exciting to ride. People love to talk about it. But it's no Street Triple, but you're talking about 47 years, and it's a cool bike though. It's definitely got the cool factor. Just trying to shift without the clutch. The one thing I noticed with this bike though, it's got a lot of throttle movement. But yeah, all right, guys. I guess that's about it. I just wanted to hop back on the bike, give you some my quick thoughts about the difference in the bikes, and it's a major difference. They're both cool in their own way, but there's definitely a major cool factor in riding an old bike, and that you don't really have to go nuts on, because it's not begging you to go 200 miles an hour. It just wants to cruise happily. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't know what my next video is going to be, but I know I'm going to be on this bike a lot more often. Not as much as the RS, the Street Triple, obviously, but I'm going to be on it because I do like riding. It's a fun bike. It's absolutely fun. All right, guys, later.